So as you can see, I had a lot of fun working on this jam, and it's all thanks to Baddock and Retry Eli, who helped with the programming and art. So I suggest you check them out as I've put links to their profiles in the description. So the first thing we did after the theme was announced was to hop into a Discord channel and brainstorm some ideas. And after an hour we came up with the idea of a bullet that rewinds back to the shooter, which you have to catch in order to not take damage. The rest of that day was spent implementing the bullet and the player and just getting it to all sort of feel right. The next day, Baddock started on the enemies while I polished up the bullet and made a good way for the player to take damage and kill enemies. We also found some very nice sound effects for the bullet on open game art to capture that VHS tape feel that you get with the game about rewinding time. So on the third day, we added the player sprite drawn by Eli and some nice, blood particle effects and sprites to go on the ground, plus a game over screen so you could actually die in the game, a menu screen, and a checkpoint system. Some small things such as medkits and those like fancy screen effects, the curved screen was added then as well. The next day I ended up making the tile map for the game. I think it looks alright and it came out a bit better than I expected, but it worked quite well. And I also coded in some destructible objects which could be placed around the environment, make it feel a bit more real. Baddock also created a tutorial for the player so people would actually know what to do, and he composed some nice music for the game so it's not all just quiet. Throughout the next 2 days, we created the level for the game. Using the tile map, adding all the destructibles, enemies, all that stuff. And we created the alarm lamp as a little extra visual treat. We did that using a soft rotating sprite for the light, and then we put a sprite mask behind it to stop it from going through the wall, which I think turned out really well. On the final day, we put in enemy sprites, which Eli drew for us, and he made this really good looking splash screen for the game. And that was the point that I decided I needed to spend about an hour perfectly lining up the picture in the game and the bit of the picture shown as the background of the itch.io page. Although it did end up looking pretty cool, so I'd say it was worth it. After that, we just added a description and uploaded the game to the jam, which was pretty great. We had like 13 hours remaining or something like that, so there wasn't really that much pressure on us or anything, unlike in some of the 48 or 72-hour jams that sometimes happened as well. I think the game turned out quite well. It's quite fun to play, quite crunchy, and it looks quite good, so I'm hoping it gets a good rating in the jam. When this video is uploaded, the games will probably still be in the rating process, and I'm really looking forward to the results, but in the meantime I encourage you to look at some of the other games in the jam and try out some of the submissions. Don't forget to look at Baddock's and Eli's pages in the description, as this game would basically just not be a thing without them, and they're pretty great developers. Also, a big thanks to Brackeys for hosting the jam, and I'm looking forward to the next one.